Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Man the Maker. Welcome to a new Let's Play series for Wizards and Warlords. An indie turn-based strategy game put out by one guy, I believe, that you play as either a wizard or a warlord in a fantasy world where you have to contend with magic and divine beings, other races, other warlords, wizards, etc. And try and, I suppose, conquer the world. I've never beaten the game, only played a little bit myself. I was actually sick the past couple of days. I still technically am. And I was looking for a game that I could play on my little tiny work laptop while laying in bed. And I found this game, and I was like, this game scratches an itch that I've had for quite a long time. I've just really been digging more strategy games. I had like a spat, where I was just like playing a lot of tactics games, turn-based tactics and the like. And I kind of was like thinking to myself, you know what? I really want to play more strategy games. And I've been playing Shadow Empire, and I found this game, and this is like very different from Shadow Empire, but still hitting that strategy itch. So I mean, I'm really excited to play it. I've played it a little bit already, and we're just gonna go ahead and dive in. From the beginning, you can play as either a wizard or a warlord. The wizard is perhaps more interesting, whereas warlords are obviously, they don't have magic, so you're not gonna be able to do that. And I have not even touched this. It's recommended for new players and offering the greatest variety and depth of gameplay. Well, that sounds pretty good to me. Here is the custom. I mean, you can do a lot of different options here. I think we're just gonna leave it on the complete basic. This is default, except I did turn on romance and events and traits. This related to romance and sexuality? Yeah, sure. We're playing against mostly normal, but I did turn up these two to different. You know what? It's probably a terrible idea. But if you've seen the channel before, you know that I don't mind dying, and I'd much rather lose than have a stomp. So we will turn up the difficulty there on everybody, and we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. I mean, if the game ends because I get murdered, so be it. That's the story. But we will just go up to difficult, I suppose. Again, I really probably should not do that. But it's too late. It's done. Here we get to pick our wizard. Lots of pre-made choices. You can also completely create a custom one, which we're not going to do. We're going to pick from here. I haven't entirely decided on which I'm going to do. I thought about maybe being celestial or something. It could also be a demon, and we'll get into more about what all of this means. But I mean, we can just start off right now. Traits are just kind of who you are, right? This will never change. You have these traits, and they are just part of who you are. The masteries, this is only what you start with. You can learn more. In fact, you will learn more and level them up. You can see there's only level 1, 2, or just one here. Though it is limited somewhat based upon your alignment, based upon your race. I have played a little bit as the Earth King, so I'm not going to do that again. The Grey Wizard being a good guy, go with the Lore Master Merchant Mage is something that is somewhat interesting to me. Evil Ogre Magi. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go as a Warlock. Already a powerful magic user, the Warlock has struck a pact with a dark patron to gain even greater power. Such deals are dangerous affairs that the Warlock must outwit a far more powerful benefactor while drawing power from it. Must constantly placate the benefactor. This maybe is going to be too hard. I might not have a good time trying to placate the benefactor there. But you know what? Screw it, right? We're going to go for it. We are evil. So we cannot unlock the mastery Celestial and Light. Evil factions will like us more. Good factions will not. We can use corruption. I don't even really know what that means. We also have Dark Pact. We gain 1 initial Eldritch Lore. We can beseech Dark Patron spell to give quests and rewards. I mean, of course, we're going to do that. And then the special events, consequences of the pact. Let's see how that plays out. And we're a summoner. Get a little bit more initial planar lore, and lowers the mana cost to summon units and the upkeep to maintain the summoned creatures by 20%. We are for sure going to be summoning and binding lots of creatures here. So these are our traits. Then we have our masteries. Like I said, this is only what we start with. You can and will learn other ones, and you will also raise their rank over time. I mean, we start with Blood 1. We won't really worry too much about what that means initially, but we have a little bit of blood magic. We have a little bit of darkness magic. We have a little bit of destruction, and we're pretty good at summoning. This giving us another 6% discount mana cost combined with summoner up here. So yeah, I mean, we're obviously going to be doing some pretty heavy summon stuff. Let's just go with Man the Maker here. We can pick our emblem. I don't know if there's going to be the three-headed. Yeah, okay. There's our patron. And we'll go with the red and white. Or black and white. Kind of like the black and white. This is our patron. I don't know if we actually get to see the thing in game. Boom. Done. And let's just dive right on into the game. You're playing as the Warlock, right? Main resources is mana. Of course it is, because we are a wizard. We don't really need to, I mean, y'all know what mana is and does, right? Okay, cool. Masteries. So masteries go from 1 to 10. Casting spells and commanding units will give you bonus to that, as well as you just gain some general bonus from being a wizard. So this will always be going up. We'll look at that more. And of course, there's research to do. We're not going to look too far into that right now. We start up here in the freezing cold. Nice. This is our province. So this is the only area that we can actually control right now. We don't have any control of anything outside. So we can't build anything if it's not inside of our realm, but we can build things inside of our realm, which we will be doing. Pardon me, as I said, I am a little bit sick. I'm going to turn off the tutorial. Yes. So this is where we start. We can check out our name. We start in Visidarimar, next to the Ardent Ocean, and Kifharithethron. The elves are here, obviously, and Sorin over there. Cool. I don't like to keep that on. I will turn the province names off, but I will leave the borders. I find them somewhat useful. This is our wizard tower. This is basically our capital city, right? Here, of course, we've got a little bit of an army. I can go ahead and expect them. And we got some mutilators over here. This is the only army that we have at the very beginning. It's not a lot. Actually, we should have looked at something else before we started. Where? Reshow intro. This is also very important because every time you play the game, there's randomized deities. And there's only this is pretty interesting. The first game I've had where there was not the great cosmic forces in play. Instead, we have got 4 greater deities and 4 lesser deities. Buraror from the plane of balance. Tusholofelo from the greater deity of animals and fertility on the home plane of air. Deity of strength, light, divine, overlord, a plane of strength, and the deity of life from the plane of life. And then we got the lesser guys, deity of shadow, deity of culture, deity of air, sky, storms, and thunder, and lesser deity of nightmare. Kind of like the nightmare one. I mean, we are, after all, a little bit shady, are we not? So, I mean, honestly, I haven't gotten too far deep into the deities, but we will try. We will try. Oh, yes. Next up, we also have our cultures. So, our following military units are from the Firebound Hobgoblins, which have their own, like every culture here has its own alignment, philosophy, social structure, race, different traits. I mean, you can see there that they've got quite a lot. I mean, they are martial honor, shamanistic. They have slavery, chariots, lawful, minority ruling caste, hobgoblins. They're allied to goblins and ogres, and they like certain weapons and animals. The bugbears, a lot more simple. They're just tribal evil. They're stealthy, Epicurean, and shamanistic. And the Bostilian humans. These guys are neutral. I don't know. Sucks for them, kind of, I suppose. Nearby, we have the Azure Elves. These guys are not going to like us probably very much because they're good. Their philosophy is conquest. So, yeah, okay, great. And there's also the Vaudo's humans who are evil. Potentially someone we can make friends with going forward. Whew, okay. We can look back at our army real quick. We don't really need to worry too much. I mean, there's a bunch of stats. This will dictate how they do in a fight. They've got their equipment. I mean, there's really not much more that we need to worry about for this, right? This is the army. we can add more units to this. We will eventually add more units, but okay. For now, we're not going to worry too much about that. We got a couple of things. Idle workers, for example. Or you know what? Let's take a look at our wizard tower. This is our wizard tower, right? We can upgrade it. We can build buildings here. It has a recruitment capacity of 2 units. It gets a research contribution, right? So we'll look at research for that. And then it makes certain resources, gold, food, mana, and influence. And we can put 2 workers in here, which we will do. Because there's really nothing else for workers to do in the very beginning. They take 5 gold, take 5 food. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in here. Because, well, first of all, we can see up here what the resources we have and what we're gaining. Now, you already saw where we're getting our resources from, just the wizard tower. I popped this guy in there. Workers in your tower, just give 50. Just 50 gold. Boop. And since there's really nothing for them to do right now, and otherwise we would only be gaining 15 gold per turn, this is pretty much the only way to start the game off. So, okay, there's our wizard tower. I think what we're going to do next is go along over here and just kind of take a look at what's going on in the magic section. Magic section, you can see, these are all of our masteries, first up. All these different categories, but right now we have our masteries. Blood, darkness, destruction, and summoning. Right now we're gaining a little bit of progress in each of them. Right? This is how many we have, this is what we're getting each turn. Now, if I pick one, it's going to focus it all into one, which is definitely what we're going to do. I mean, there's pretty much no game, no system where you would not want to do this. I mean, if everything is at 95%, then you get no bonus, but you could have 2 of them at 100% and the other 2 at who cares, and then you're getting an immediate benefit from them. It's kind of a general rule. Always kind of focus on things. And you can see here what it does. Right? We gain a spell. We gain a golem power. We don't even need to worry about that. We gain a unit blood beast, and it gives us +1 mana per turn just for having it, which is pretty nice. That's why we have +6 over here instead of just the 5. Darkness, we get a couple of spells, another golem power, which we don't need to worry about, and we get some voidling units. Yeah, cool. If we level this up, we can get dark rituals. We can get a little bit more mana, and the Mark of Darkness we don't need to worry about. Leveling this up would give us also another spell and +1 spellcraft research, which is interesting, but okay, whatever. Shatter and explode person. Yeah, that's pretty intense. I think what we're going to do is probably focus on darkness, because what this is going to do at level 2 is it's going to give us +1 mana. And that's like, 20% bonus to our mana production. So we're gonna focus in on the darkness. I don't really care so much about, +1 spellcraft research. We're not gonna worry about that just yet, because now we can go and look at what that actually means. So here, you can unlock any mastery that is actually available to you. I mean, for us, I think Celestial is blocked, right? Because we're evil. So this is one way in which you can gain masteries. If you just got 1,000 gold and 10 mana, you can say, I don't care about anything. I want to make golems or whatever. I'm going into Artifice. I really, really want some fire. I'm going into fire. And this would just unlock it at level 0 for you to then come back here and devote energy into. Spellcraft gives us just kind of very particular things. I mean, the craft of spelling. Research Sense mana nodes is really, really good. But I don't think I'm going to open up with it yet. So Research Sense mana nodes cost 500 gold, which is everything we have, and basically reveals mana nodes on the map, which you can then spend. Well, first you reveal them, then you need to research the next one, which then, when you research that, lets you basically bind the mana nodes to yourself, and this is how you increase your mana production quite significantly in the long term. Really, really important, but a bit too expensive for me to want to just begin with. Which brings us to the last part, lore. So, researching lore, I mean, you just kind of research a little ancient history, elemental lore. I mean, there's some unavailable ones, like Forgotten Evils, which we cannot do because we need some combination of these two things, which we don't have. Darkness 2 and Ancient History 5 is entirely possible for us to get, but we're not going to worry about it right now. Basically, what these do, if they give you some kind of random bonus, I don't know exactly how it decides. I mean, it is I think researching ancient history will give you different things than Fey lore. I don't know how it selects from the pool that is available, but it is somewhat random. And I think we're going to open up with ancient history because, from my experience, which is limited, it gives you some nice things that are early on. It's also the cheapest. I mean, everything else costs twice as much, at least, and some mana. Whereas this is just 125. We're gonna just go build the project. It's gonna take, I think it's at 6 turns. That's great. Okay, so I spent a little bit of money on that, and it's going to give us some kind of random bonus going down the line. And what I'm hoping for is more followers, which we'll get to in a moment. Up next, we can go and take a look. So I said we're gonna want more units. Well, this is how we are going to get them, right? Here you can recruit people, which right now, I mean, we have nothing in the recruitment Pulitzer, sorry. But we can summon magical units, and we are a summoner, right? That is like totally our thing. So we're definitely going to be doing that. We can choose now between blood beasts and voidlings. Blood beasts are a little bit cheaper. Voidlings have less upkeep, but we do get free mana for upkeep, so we don't have to start paying for it until we're using over 10, which is nice. Both of these guys, I mean, we can kind of take a look over here at their skills, right? This one has higher melee skill. This one has some shock, but the blood beasts are much tougher. No discipline whatsoever, but they're going to definitely deal more damage. I mean, they have 2 attacks, first of all. They can hinder an opponent. They're unsettling. Whereas these guys deal a little bit less damage, but they have a higher melee skill, so they're more likely to hit, I suppose. Plus all of these abilities, right? We can just leap into combat. I think what we're going to do, we don't have any ranged, which is a little bit unfortunate. And we're probably going to want to rectify that as quickly as possible. But for now, I'm going to recruit one of you. 2 of you, actually, because I'm going to be out of mana. We're just going to pick up 2 of them. Right off the bat. So we can show the queue here. Doesn't actually tell you. 4 turns. So these will both take 4 turns to come out. That's fine. All right, we got our basics. One thing we're going to want to do, potentially... Oh, did I just cancel? I did. Is we're going to want to gather some recruits. No available cultures to gather recruits from. Well, fine. There's no cultures here. Great. So we're just completely restricted to summoning, at least until maybe we get some other cultures going forward. I'm not going to look at this yet, but we do know, I mean, the elves are there. That's not great. Now it's time for our followers, where we can go ahead and take a look at who we have here. We've got 4 followers. Now these are like your generals, your captains, your explorers, your dungeon crawlers. They will be just doing everything. Your governors, your ambassadors, anything, any action that you can really kind of take on the map, you will do through them, or you will use them to increase its efficiency. So right now we can take a look. We got Badrick over here, Firebound Hobgoblin. He's a warmonger. He's just a martial dude. He wants to fight. He does recruit faster. I don't think that that actually works with summoning. Okay. Next up we've got, oh, also I should take, I mean, there's also traits and they have a bunch of traits. Occasionally he's going to abandon a task. Great. -1 enigmatic. I don't really know how that factors in. And in fact, there's no way that I could find to like look at their stats. So I don't know what enigmatic does. Next up, we've got Duzish here, our bugbear herbalist. He can banish. Cool. Also patient. Expedition travel speed -5%. So he's a little bit slower on expeditions. Fine. He is an herbalist, a type of a scholar. Okay, that's interesting. And we'll see how these types actually play in, because you're limited in what you can use them for. And they are better at certain things, depending on their type, but also probably depending on their actual class. We got ourselves a hunter here who's amicable and patient. Okay. And you are a rogue type. And then finally an explorer. Rogue Mercantile, you are just a human. You're greedy. May try to steal loot. Okay, that's not great. It gets more. He does give more loot. So, I mean, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this guy the first. You know what? I'm actually going to hold off. We're going to just say, hey, man, go out there and explore freely. I'm just going to tell him I don't really care where he explores. I just want him to go out there and explore. I could tell him to specifically explore an area, which I will probably do with you, actually. Explore province. We're going to send him down here, and he's going to explore this elven area because we really want to know what's going on over there. And as I was saying, the reason why I prefer explore freely is because when they finish an explore freely mission, they gain experience, whereas I don't think they do if you tell them to explore specifically an area. That leaves you and you. You want to be an advisor. Yeah, I'm going to make him an advisor. So, oops. I will assign you to be an advisor. And this brings me to my one big complaint of the game. And the thing that I find the most frustrating about it, because the game has all of this depth, and I have no idea what half this crap does. It just doesn't explain it everywhere. I can't mouse over advisor and have it just say, this is what an advisor does. It just doesn't happen. And it's, you know, it's pretty annoying. I mean, I think if I go to here, I can see what it, yeah, +1 process to research projects. You make it cheaper to recruit and they don't do anything. You give me 25 gold per turn. It's not bad, but I'll take the +1 progress to research progress. +1 progress to research projects. So like I could kind of see that that's there, but it took me a little bit of poking around to actually find that. And yeah, I just, it seemed very, very often I'm going to encounter things where I'm just like, I don't have any idea what this does. And I have looked online and there's no way to find some of these things. There's no manual. I'm playing another game, strategy game called Shadow Empires right now on the channel. And it's also incredibly deep and complex and complicated, but there is a huge manual. So I know this game is developed by only one individual. So bless you, sir or ma'am, for making this game. And I love the complexity and the deepness, but I'm dying for a manual or for some tooltips. I'm dying for them. Okay, I'll try and keep that complaint in check now that I have aired my grievances. The last thing we're gonna do, if I look at you again, you do want to become a general, no doubt. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say, hey man, oops, hey man, you can become the army general. Army of the tower, please. Thank you. Now, why do I do that? Well, I'm gonna send this guy out. He's gonna go very slowly. It takes very, very challenging to move across the ice here. Because I want him to go and get this mysterious site. Sites give bonuses. They're like tribal villages or whatever. And having a general and technically having a scout as well gives a somewhat bonus. I only learned this by watching the developer's YouTube videos. He made 2 10-minute videos, which should give me a little bit of information. So that was quite nice. Yeah, so we're just going to move over here. I'm going to have the general in there, and he's going to just kind of take a look at these things. We got a new quest. I need to research 2 research projects. Well, we already started the one. So that's cool. I also want to look. Beseech Dark Patron. The results are unpredictable, and the patron usually demands something in return. I mean, while we're here, one thing I also didn't look. I mean, we did not take a look at our magic. So yeah, we can beseech the Dark Patron. We've got Baleful Strength. This just makes a unit more damaging in melee, but less discipline and less toughness. Okay, I might be okay with using this on my beasts. They already have garbage discipline, so they're going to do whatever the hell they want. They're pretty tough, and the melee skill I think will help them hit and then hit freaking hard. So that's quite nice. You also have Dark Soul here. Another thing, this is only in battle. This one says it can be used at any time. And I wonder, can I cast it on them and have it stay there forever? Battle duration of 2 turns, but it can also be used during battles. I actually don't know. Drain Soul is only for battles. 12 dark damage up to 8 units in the target unit. And I gain 1 soul per kill. I don't know anything about souls. Something to do with dark magic. We'll check it out. And then, of course, Blood Sacrifice. Sacrifice a portion of a settlement's population to gain a bunch of mana. Increase your mastery. Choose which pop to sacrifice. Increases tyranny and possibly unrest. The settlement must have a population of 2+. So, yeah, we can eat people for magic. Pretty intense. And of course, we got Shadow here for battle. 4 arcane damage to a bunch of targets in the target unit. Bonus damage and target count against units with at least one of any of these things. Cannot target anything that's slimy or spectral. For each kill, it deals additional damage as they explode into tiny pieces. And it does arcane damage. Cool. The rest of this stuff I don't need to worry about right now. And that's it for our followers. You are technically an advisor, but I haven't given you a task. I'm probably going to have you just explore freely as well. Go ahead, buddy. It's possible that leaving the advisor home does something. I have gained, I have had the advisor get me big piles of things, and actually, big piles of mana is what it got me. I'm going to cancel your task, and you can just, but now it just says idle. God, I hate it. I hate that it says idle there. I can't do it. You cannot be idle. You're going to go and do something, and we're going to end our first turn. Boop. This has to, we don't need to worry about that. Bam. First turn is done. I didn't even look at economy or or diplomacy. None of these things really matter for now. So we're not going to worry too much about it. And yeah, we're going to continue moving you over in this direction to eventually get there. Narsh, you want to be, both of you want to be a scout captain, huh? The hunter and the explorer. I'm going to hide your requests for a while and let you guys just do your exploration, because I want to really kind of see what's going on out there. And getting a bunch of early exploration, I think, is quite useful. So we're going to do that. And I did already move you. I did. You can see here, Narsh explored 1 tile. The other 2 are doing it. It just hasn't. They're just doing it for free. Are you going out into the water? I hope not. Recruitment Blood Beast still going to take 3 turns. I don't need to look at those workers right now. And everyone is just doing their thing. Let's go and end the turn. Exploration. I got a new quest. You want me to find the dungeon in Virizidaramar. It'd be wise to send your agents to search the province, as locating the dungeon is the first step to securing its riches and ending any threat posed by the denizens. Indeed, indeed. So there's some hidden site here, which we will need to go ahead and find. And I think what we're going to do, once you're done with this province, we're going to have him go ahead and search. This province won't take that much longer. And there's also, when you explore freely and they finish, they're out of action for 5 to 7 turns. I don't actually know the spread. This is just what I've seen, where you can't use them. So that is something to be aware of. They will gain experience, but they will be locked away for quite a bit longer. And yeah, you are totally exploring out into the sea. Okay, sir. Very well. You continue moving in this direction. Export 2. Yep. Oh, I think what we're going to do, we're going to beseech the Dark Patron. A new quest, Dark Pact Sacrifice. It requires us to conduct a mass sacrifice. Only a town, city, or nomad camp has necessary population to provide enough victims matching the requirements for this ritual. So you need me to do a blood sacrifice. Does that show up as a quest? It does. There's no time limit. Okay, fine. Also, here's how you win. Kill everyone else. You can also research and cast the Ritual of Ascendancy and then defend. Or I guess Draconic Ascension or Mastery of Time, or master all 4 Elements or Mastery of Arcane 10. Fine. I think actually that we are going to put a cut in here. We had to cover a lot of ground in the start, and we still haven't looked at a lot of other things as well. But there's just, we don't need to look at everything right off the bat, right? That's kind of how I like to do this. I don't need to necessarily go through everything. Yeah, here we had to do things, so we took a look. But like building, for example, we did not. Diplomacy and economy, we did not pay attention to that because it can be a little bit overwhelming, and we want to get into the meat of the game. And when we encounter these things in the future, I will either do my best to explain them, or I will be like, I have no idea what's going on for reasons aforementioned. We'll just try and figure it out as you go. Nonetheless, I gotta say, I'm still really, really excited to play this game. I like the feel of it. I like the depth of the game. I don't know. It's like I said, it really just, it's hitting my notes right now. It feels really good to be playing it. I am a bit sick and I'm still just kind of pushing through because I got to get those videos out for y'all folks. That's that dedication that I try and bring here to the channel, is always have at least one video per day. We'll do a quick shout out to my patrons real quick. Daniel Barasabo, Remco Deji, Pasacaro, and Ramgar MT. Thank you guys very much. I do have a Patreon. You can find a link to that down below. Any support is appreciated. If you're not interested or able to support in such a fashion, give the video a like. It does help out the channel, help boost that algorithm. It also lets me know, I'm doing what you guys like. I do pay attention to that, and it does kind of influence what I play. Always things that I like to play, but there's just so many goddamn good games out there. So it helps. It helps to have a little bit of guidance on that matter. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can catch my videos as they come out. Finally, I do have a Discord and a Twitter if you want to join the community. All that stuff is down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm really looking forward to playing more. I'm gonna try and keep my energy up as I push through. My sinus pressure has receded quite a bit in the past day or two, but it's still there, and I'm gonna do my best. I'm dosed up. I've taken some good drugs, so I'm feeling okay right now, and hopefully I'll be able to maintain this level of energy over the next 2 or 3 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode and that you stick around as we push out and see what this delightful, rich game has to offer. Wizards and Warlocks, thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, my name is Man the Maker. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.